Okay, so your vibration, uh, right? So you're not solid. So what happens to the people that you had an experience, but you hold them in memory? What happens to that experience, right? Are they still solid? So me and you interact on a physical idea. We say goodbye to each other. You go to your work, I go to work, or meet for lunch, or whatever it is. We don't look at each other anymore. What happens to me? What do I become? Brett, where's your dad?
In the other room.
No, he's not. He's not in the other room. He's nowhere. He's not an idea to you. I mean, he's an idea unto himself, but he's definitely not in the other room. He's not there until you get there. Okay? I want you all to think about that. Every time you are not focused as a physical creation, anything in your reality is gone. It's not physical anymore. There's no permanency in the now. There's no permanency in creation. Greetings, Gene. Welcome. Let me catch you up. We're just talking about when you're looking at someone and then they're not there, are they still there? Do they still exist? And in particular now, yes, they are in existence, but to you, they are not that form. The reason why we want to give you that, okay, is because we want you to let go of the dependencies of physicality to create your reality. You want to let go of certain ideas, philosophies that sustain an algorithm that is unseen to the conscious mind. So when you're with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you are in that interaction. When you are not, you are not. They are not there. They are in their world. If there's no co-creation, then there's no interaction, then there's no experience between the two. You know of them, but they are not the idea that they were to you. How about that? We want you to understand that time is going to be relevant now for you in a completely different way, a completely different way to use time as an asset. But if you depict time as a relationship of consistency, then you're going to get that memory and that'll create your reality. So no one is there until they're there. They're there to themselves in a different way. They're in a different world. They're being a different idea. Yeah. So let's look at this consciousness idea. Consciousness, right? If the refrigerator here is in my world and I create it as a refrigerator and I get all the atoms and everything to vibrate and bring everything down to a certain frequency, a certain rate, and I start to have an experience of a solid world. It's not solid, but just my nerves tell me it's solid. Everything is showing me gravity. Everything says it's, I got a fridge in front of me, okay? I got a picture, I got a wall, I got some, what the hell is those? Those are what do you call them? Paper towels? Okay, paper towels. So you got these things in your reality, and you may see it, but I don't see the fridge, so it's not there until I engage in it, and then I create it instantaneously. Now, when the fridge is gone out of my reality, it's something else to whoever's interacting, whatever the fridge is interacting with. The fridge doesn't stay consistent. Only the fridge and me are consistent. The fridge changes into a million other things. Because, guys, you got to remember there's no distance. There's no over there. You create the illusion of space. Look at me. I'm walking around in space. I have space between me and you. The chair, there's an interaction of nothing there, so I have created space to have that interaction. But it's not. It's all a thought. It's all an idea of the now. It's all an idea. So all of these things that you value, all the ideas of the now that you value in time are not there until they are there. Now, the individual singularity, you know, there's a boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, cat, dog, pair of scissors, dish, rock, creek, ideas. are always there, but they're always in their own experience, their own world. But humans have grabbed onto the dependencies of these things because they need that connection, because the connection of the everlasting flow of the now has no provisions of solid, no stables, no solidity, no assurances, no certainties. It doesn't offer that humanity seeks every day. Humanity wants to know themselves better. They want to know themselves as something better. That's the biggest algorithm. You guys are always trying to improve yourself. That's creation in and of itself. It's masterful. Let it leave it alone. You don't have to do that because you know that you're enough. And in that, you can see that the mind, human, grabs things as solid that stay in time, and that is algorithm. Or algorithm is a repeated vibrations act, and you grow. Repeated. It's an over and over thing. That's why you always get new versions of people as a potential. That's why when you shift yourself, you get new versions of people that when, and if any of you have ever tried it yourself, when you start to be different, you get different versions of people. Most people don't like the different version of you because they've grown dependent on you. You know this too. So if these people are dependent on you and all of a sudden you become something different, they're going to get upset. Why? Because you're a drug. You are an absolute need for them to find their what? Greetings, Lorraine. Find their stability. People need stability in their life, so they grasp onto things of dependencies, objects, right? These things around us. These things are just nows. They're just experiences. That's all they are. They don't mean anything. They don't help you. They don't do anything. Humans do that. That's the relationship you have with creation. Meaning, purpose, definability, outcome. And then, of course, your emotions that tie it all together in some experiential that can be measured. The reason we want to show you that things that are there are only there now. When they're not there, I swear to you, they're not there. They're just a thought. They immediately disappear into nothingness. They are on their own journey, but to you, they have been expunged out of your reality and they are not in that relationship with you. When they come back, how do you look at that? Do you look at them as time? Do you look at them as something that has already been? And then you get that version. That's the algorithm. That's what time keeps you comfortable. You rely on it. It's a friend. It gives you a way to connect. You have to feel enough without connection. And maybe if we deplete your dependencies on things, you can see that you're never dependent because the now requires nothing. Time requires a lot of things, but now doesn't do anything. It doesn't ask you for shit. Okay? Maybe in human terms, you think it does, but in the now, truly, you always have that which you need. That is undeniable. You can argue about it, but you will find out that's immediately, with some insight, that's just time. The now is your life. When you bring a person into your reality, I remember you. You're this. No, they're not. They're now this. How are you seeing them? What they were or what they are? When you are you, the were people don't show up anymore. Because they were that, but you're not that. So therefore, they can't be that. They have to be the version of you, the attraction. Every single interaction of a person is an attraction. They're not there by mistake. They're not there because they're wrong or right or indifferent. They're there because they're a match. It's just an idea of exploration. People aren't purposely coming here. I didn't purposely come here to teach you a lesson. I'm a match. Malachi, boom, here I am. Let's interact, and that's it. That's all we're doing. And when you can see that about your life, you stop looking for things to be important. You stop looking for something being everything. People are something to you. But think about it. When you turn around, they're not there. When you know that they're there in the presence of you, you feel them vibrationally. Then they are there. But of course, don't rely on the sight. But if you know the presence of them, then they're there in presence. Interaction, co-creation, which happens way before it catches up to your eyesight or your physical awareness. You already know that. But when you have no inkling of them and you're focused on them, they are not there. Don't look for them. Don't look for anybody. Don't try to hunt them down and make them come back. Be that as it may. Be the now as it may be. And you'll understand how life is the constant of vibration, attraction, worthiness, truth to you. You start seeing truths that you don't like, but how the hell else do you get it unless you see what you have coveted as an idea to transcend? So you be the honest, you be yourself, and people that come in returnship that are historically know you, and you have your own typed out version, molded version of these people. When you start to release those ideas and be the self that you are, you have to get different versions, which is happening every time. But it's you that go back to old reliable and then put them in a version of this is how you're supposed to be. Let me give you an example. Felons. I've said it before in this class. Felons. When they're released, they are told as an idea they are felons. Alcoholics, drug, whatever, addicts, sexual addicts, all the addicts can never be cured. They can only be controlled, maintained, right? Same idea. That's where you go. That's the thing of imagery. So felons are reinforced everywhere that they're felons. How do they not become a felon? Well, they need someone to show them that they're not a felon. Don't consider them that. Even if they bring in that, it says you're not a felon, you're you. If you're afraid, what do you get? If you're afraid of a felon, do you get the potential of what it is to have an experience with a felon? Of course. But if you're not afraid and you trust your universe, then you don't get the felon version, do you? Any of you excused from murder? Rape? No. No one. Can't use that excuse that you've never experienced in your physical life. That's an excuse. You're everything. You're all versions of yourself. And all versions of yourself is versions of all. Period. It is a symbiotic relationship. You can't be afraid of labels because then you reinforce them. Energy follows awareness. So when these people are gone, they're gone. When they are new, they're new. But that takes some getting used to, I know, because you got a lot of people out there that are the same things. They never learn their lessons. Husbands and wives that abuse their spouses and their kids. They do, but they're in an algorithm with other people that reinforce that. You change your version, you get different versions of people. If there's no match, they don't show up. Many of you don't remember a lot of the friends you've had because there's no memory of them. There's no memory of them. Why? If I have vibration A, right, and vibration A creates now, and in now, the now creates my vibrational match memory, then this A vibration encompasses everyone that is in the current of my memory as A. If I go to B and I become a B vibration, then my vibration remembers different people. Not only different versions of people, completely different people with the name change. Maybe we have the same memory together as person A and person B. We both grew up on the same block, but up until 13, person A was Carla. At 14, person A, Carla, now became person B, Katrina. You got to understand that it matches vibration here, guys. You've been so many things to other people. When me and Brent get together, Brent remembers Malachi, Malachi remembers Brent. But I know, and Brent knows, since he has a time with me, that I'm a different version of Malachi. It's not because I've changed. It's because Brent has changed and attracted a different version unto me. So I match, so I change unto myself. He changes unto himself, and we both have the match. Okay? I want you to know that the now creates the memory. So what vibration are you? You're going to have different timelines. Now, this is where it gets upsetting for humans because you forget some of your life and you don't like that now that we're giving you knowledge of it. See, right now I want you to pay close attention to this, everybody, okay? Slow down your thoughts. Let go of trying to figure this out. Let's all be this together, relax, and understand from a open, holistic point of view, whole point of view. Just let it sink into you. Let it sing its song. If I'm this vibration, okay, let's take Roxy. Roxy's transgender. She has that timeline. That's the memory. When she's that version of herself with you, the channel Roxy transgender, then everyone's memory is a match. And all the experiences of this is a match. If there's a different version of Roxy, that's, let's say, a B vibration, and that's not Roxanne transgender, that's Roy, and all of you know her as Roy the channeler, and you're in Sly's class, then you all equate that vibration and have that memory. You see how changing it is? Do you see how absolutely there is no permanency in creation? Can you do that for yourself today? Your focus is your reality. You hang on to it for meaning and purpose. But so much patronage into your imagery that it would be absolutely mind-blowing that you are a billion selves, versions of these probable selves, and you are creating each one and having an experience with each one of those, just like you're having this life. See, that's, you can see the change of versions of people. That's the first thing I want you to see. When you change yourself, you get different versions of your fathers, mothers. Some people don't like it because you're too weird, you're too this, you're too that. You know, big physical change versions. But see, they can equate that to the little nuts person inside, right? They can equate that. But then behavioral changes is what really, really fucks them up. You know, whether they come gay or straight, like Brent, you had such a hard time telling your dad that you were gay. It's like, oh my God, I finally came out to my dad after how many fucking years? You know, you finally did that for yourself and you got a new version of your dad, not the version that you thought. See, but you can explain all that way with logic. But what you can't explain is yourself, your truth. When you start to do that, you can't explain why you start to get true behavioral changes, vibrational frequency worlds. You can't quite put your finger on it because you know this is vibration change. This is not frequency change of versions of yourself that are now this version creating different memories. We're talking self change that create entire new timelines congruencies of timelines. To where on this timeline, Tammy owns a bar, right? She works at the Wicked Wench. Right? Is that what it's called? The Wicked Wench? Yeah. So is there a version that she works on it and she bartends and owns Fat Hooker's bar and grill? Of course. But that's vibrational changes. But see, that only comes in the now. You can't find it in time. But what you can do, listen very closely now, is you can bring your awareness with you to all of those versions of yourself. You can. But you have to slip into the now. You can't be depending on these versions of people that you expect. You got to be open and you got to be honest and you got to keep being in the frequency of your truth, and that truth attracts different versions of people instantaneously. And they're never the same person because everything is new in the now. It is always unknowable. The known to the unknown. Unknowability. Unknowability? Pardon me. So you want to start seeing this self that is the truth that attracts different realities. Everyone's looking for the big physical stuff, money, changes, lifestyle, moving, things like that, right? That's cool, but don't expect it. Just know it. But I want you now, as you start to fall in love with you and speak your truth and not pay attention to time to create image over and over again, and just let go of the imagery and start to be the god-ass, badass, rockin' bitch ass you are, whatever you want to call your dragon self, every day, every now, every single time, so you can see the vibrational shifts of your worlds. And then I'm telling you, you're going to start remembering different selves with these people, different memories, different versions. Different things are going to become more apparent to you because you're not relying on what? Time, definitions, versions of people. We're having a bad storm, Roxy says. So if we get a thunder and we may lose electricity. Is that what you're saying? It's not too bad. I want to know you as the now. I never want to know you as time. Why would I dare do that to myself? Why would I always rely on the same old song and dance? That's a rhetorical question for you to understand in yourself. Why do you need the reliability of memory, of time? Because it's comfortable? Because it's familiar? Because the unknown is unacceptable? It's too scary? It's too large? It's too unmanageable? It's too chaotic? There's too many fearful possibilities? You got to stay in the similar, in the familiar? And the self is righteous in its own commands of always being the same thing? We're not saying go out and look for change, because change comes vibrationally and it's hard to notice at first. But the momentum we talked about in an earlier class today will start to become more apparent when you are the now of yourself and never consorting to the vibrations of known past as a choice to be in the now, which of course negates the potential of the now into the algorithm of the past. You got to keep being this self. You got to keep the actual self alive and truthful, honest. And then you're going to see the crumblings of these memories, the versions of the people. You create them as a co-creation, a thought getting together with a thought that creates a physical reality for an experience. But you're so hell-bent on reliability that people are people. People are people only in the moment. Then they're not. When they're not there, they're thoughts. They're their own thoughts creating their own realities for creation in and of itself to know itself. That's why you got to go to this kingdom of heaven in it within, because it's all you. This is all for you, so you may know yourself. You got to start being the selfish self and start to experience the truth of you, so you can see that this shit we're starting to talk about in the fucking weird way is starting to become a reality for you. New memories, new ideas. You're going to know other things. You're not going to quite putting your finger on it, but you know something is different. You can't get scared about that, because we know all of ourselves. We know them in the now. So you have no time, so you take your time in any particular now and spend as long as you want in that now playing it out. See, what you are is you are playing a now out that you validated with time as the personality that you are. As Jennifer, as Tammy, Katie, Jean, Brent, Kina, Nancy, Sue, Rebecca, Tommy, Jennifer. You all started playing that, and that's what you focused on as your now. But we're going to deplete that as that. So you get different versions of your reality first. Different frequencies, different ideas, different memories, different matches, different versions of people, then different people. But still having that awareness within the center of you, knowing that it's all you from a different point of view. The time is not permanent. It's not a timeline. It's a choice in the now. It's a memory created just for a particular experience. We're going to start crumbling as we continue this. All of the things that you've relied on that's held your reality together. But when you release all these ideas, these barnacles of information that are encrusted upon your prison that you just can't seem to lighten up about, as we shed these ideas, you're going to start to see what you are. A multidimensional creator from a billion points of view. You don't have to focus anything. There's no obligation to do any of this. You don't have to be anything. You can just be the simplicity of awareness and give yourself an absolute ride of a lifetime with never fulfilling anyone else's purpose. And the only result is you're going to know yourself. You're going to fall in love. You're going to stop being. And the treacherous ideas of your memories coming up and giving you the emotional guilts and obligations and of things of human cycled ideas of things that make you feel shitty because you're responsible, you have a job, you're not lucky, you don't deserve that, and all that stuff that keeps you distracted and human bullshit is exactly that now to you. It's absolutely palatable to know that's a big pile of shit that you don't need to fucking focus on any longer. So you put it over there and you keep fucking rocking you. And you don't pay attention because the nows are speaking a truth. How many years have we been talking about this? 2. 2 solid years, going on 3 years, right? 2+ years of what? That nothing is happening in the now except the now. And it's no pain. No one's died. Everyone's fine. Well, you can't die anyway, even if you physically die. Start to be that for yourselves, guys. Start to be this mystical frequency. Be your truth and watch the different versions come in. Watch how you are aware of the version that they're telling you what you were in the past, and then your version as a potential of another past. You start to see the different selves inside of you. Everyone is focused on improving the world, getting everything right, making everyone happy. We're already happy, for fuck's sakes. We're creation. We're in existence. What else can there be except existence? What do you need? You're having an existence. You are an awareness. You're having an experience. Don't discount that. You're on the existence side of things. Let's look at that. Keep that in your heart and know you've been chosen to exist. So there's really nothing you need to do except lay back, enjoy your nows, and only engage in reality with the passions of your truth, whatever they are. If you're doing something that's algorithm, If your relationship with it is that of passion, then it's not an algorithm. You know what it is? It's a now. But if your relationship with things are held in time as things to pass the time, things to distract you, to get through things, well, then you know that the self is there saying, you can't have that. You need this. This is how you exist. You can start to really see the versions of yourself from a distant, holistic point of view. To say, I'm doing this to pass time. I'm doing this to distract myself. You are working on this uncharted territory, navigating this ideal waters that's never been charted. Do you get it? No one's going here where we're at. You're depleting an entire idea of how you must exist. And the must is murderous. You guys kill for this every day. You kill for this connection. You rob, cheat, steal. You help, you hope, you heal, you save, you protect. All of this is a connection that humanity relies on. And you do any and everything to keep it because it relies on itself in time. And the now doesn't offer it. The now offers whole, undefined, never stapled to a memory to give you the emotion equation to that. That's all depleting. What you were starting to understand and become is beyond measure. And it's a slipping idea. It's just being. It's the everlasting flow of the now. It's just getting up and moving and doing what you want. And even if it's in the algorithms of time, like someone calls you up and says, let's go to dinner this day, that's that day. Yes, okay. Now that's the interaction. Then there's no dinner until the dinner is created. You don't hold the dinner in time. It's in the now. The memory comes to remember you're having dinner, then go to dinner. Don't fight what it is. Don't think, be this now. Be it. From different points of view. Allow them to start showing themselves to you. Your memories, your interactions, the versions of people. Everything is going to match the co-created moment. So when you guys come on here, let me give you an idea of a match. Everyone looks at Roxy and you know it's Roxy. And everyone is seeing Roxy their own way. And Roxy is Roxy, so you get the version of Roxy's own version of herself. And then everyone interprets it. This will never not look like Roxy to you. But it's not the physicals how you know her. It's the feeling. It's the connection. So it's anyone in your life. And then, of course, instantaneously, the physical reality is created, and then you have the reflection, and they look like that. But it's way beyond that, and it's way before that. It happens in the now, the connection. You know everybody in your reality. I don't care who comes through the door. I don't care that you've never met them before. You know these people vibrationally. You're connected with them. Give them the version of you that is truth, authentic, not imagery. Then you get the version of their best self as well. Can never be depleted. And whatever that interaction is, and now is now. And that's all there is. All interactions is, they are what they are, then the now occurs, and the now is, and the cycle goes forever. The now is, the now is, the now is. You don't have emotional content that validates the now as time does it? This is why we talk so much about the dependencies of something, objects, because they are containers of vibration that give you an experience of the past, that give you an equation to how you feel in the now. And you love how you feel now, don't you? You really love how you feel now in that memory. What you love is not measured as good or bad. What you love is the connectivity, meaning, the purpose, the I belong. It doesn't matter if you get it through pain or love, happiness or suffering. It is what you are. Pardon us. Yep. Okay. So we'll talk about versions of people. So all of you have experienced change when you are truthful. You're afraid though, at a moment's notice, very quick, when you come up with the dark part of you, a part that is ready to be expressed. I call them dark parts, not dark as in measured bad, evil, as most humans would look at that as. I'm talking the part that has not been brought up to the light. You have not shown your own light. You have not explored that part of your kingdom. That's the dark part, okay? So you're going to bring your light upon your darkness within yourself and express it. But then you have a thought of the person in front of you that doesn't give you permission to do that because you have fears about that. Now, I'm going to give you an easy equation. Anyone ever wanted to tell their boss to fuck off, but you didn't? See, you were light, ready to shine it, but since you were afraid of the results, then you validated the version of the boss that would not accept your fucking off. So you became the same version of yourself and stapled that to the permanency of time, and that became old reliable. Okay? That's why you can't be afraid to express. You got to let it out. You got to be a dragon. I don't care who's in front of you. If you want to fall in love, then you have to be unconditional, because why would you ever attract a conditioned lover to bring conditions on your ass? Well, I'll tell you why and how. Because you're conditioned unto the self, so that's what you match. Duh. Fall in love with you. Start being your truth. Be unconditional unto your kingdom, and I promise you, no thunder will befall you. You're only going to express your thunder, your mightiness, your invincibility, your expression of dark unto light. That will happen. You have to keep being it. All of you have done it. You've changed yourselves. You've been excited. You've taken trips. You've come out. You told people to leave your lives. You're starting to change. Don't stop. Be authentic and watch now with the observation, since you got a good grasp on watching your emotions take off and send you into a frenzy. Just like Brent realized today, I thought it was supposed to be this. If I did that, then this would happen. No, that was a process. He recognized the process, so he is aware. So this awareness now is attraction of different versions of people, and you can start to see the connection with these people and the different versions of the connections with these people, to show that that person is not a singularity, but an individual singularity that is multidimensional and has a billion selves in and of itself, within itself, as you do. Everyone has a billion selves to share. But right now you're sharing one, the reliability of imagery. You don't prove it with a different physical change. You don't prove it with, I'm not really me, and starting to be some other image so you can disprove what you are. Stop. It there is truth. Yours. Unconditional badass lover unto yourself, expressing only that of the honest, the brave-hearted of you, that sheds only light upon its own kingdom so others may shine upon themselves. Simple. Masterful, truly. So it's not creepy to know that when the person's not there, okay, in your physical reality, it's not creepy to know that they're truly not there in the physical reality, because you know that they're there vibrationally, connectivity. Now, they may be focused in another now, but here's how you know they're in another now: when you're not thinking about them, when you have no connection to them. When you are connected to them in memory and thought and feeling, well, you call it a memory because that's what you rely on. When you are connected to them, you are in the same now because you are aware of each other. So let's talk about this. If I think of somebody, like, I'll give, what do you want? Jen? Okay. Jen, right? When Roxy thinks of Jennifer, in the class when she's not there, then she has a connectivity of memory, and that's where she's not. She's not now, she's in the memory, right? She's not in the now, but she is in the now of memory. But Roxy didn't get that thought from the memory. Roxy got that thought because Jennifer's within Roxy's awareness, in the presence. And the only way Roxy's mind can equate this vibration is to translate it into what Roxy's mind knows this signature as: Jennifer. Since Jen isn't here, she must be in a memory, because that's the only place Roxy can relate her in that. That's how the memory works. Are you guys starting to pick that up? Do you want to review that? Anybody? Okay, let me go ahead, Brent. You there?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask if you could review that. I would.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So give me a person that you know.
My brother, Colton.
Okay. So now Colton is in all of our realities, because otherwise we could not connect to Colton. Now, if you would have not brought Colton, he would have been in his that now over there. Doesn't exist with us in the now that we are co-creating as. But he exists. We all know Colton, but how do we know him? How do you know Colton, Brent? Right now, how do you know him?
Through memories in time.
Only memory, which is, of course, that's the only way you can grasp a memory. Has to sit in time. So time is the holder, right? The platform that memory works on. You following?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone that all of a sudden pops up in your memory is not popping up in your memory for any purpose, meaning, or reason. It's because they're vibrationally connected. And now you're connected with attraction is how you connected with them. And then it comes up to the mind and you start having your experience. But of course, most humans want to do what with it? I thought about you. What does it mean? Blah, 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 blah. Should I call them? That kind of idea. But if it's just the truth of you, just have a good thought with them. You're communing from a billion galaxies away. They might be focused in a different reality over here as that idea in that particular now. That's their true focus, but the connectivity is now. So there really is no over there. It's always here and now. You just happen to match. But aren't you at the same places at the same time? Of course. Colton is not here in our presence in the physical, but he's still here because we all know Colton. Now, if we know Colton beyond memory and trust he is with us in the now connection, then we are, as Colton is, and as we are to Colton, vibration, connection, feeling. Okay, this is infancy stage. Relax, guys. This is starting to build. This is going to be a momentous idea. We're going to get a Tilly's back in here to teach some more things about this. You following, Brent?
Yes, absolutely. And I watched my mind immediately, try to meet, was saying to me like, oh, well, it means something. Like it means something that if I'm
It
thinking of
doesn't.
something, yeah,
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't. But you recognize the mind, that's an algorithm because the mind needs a purpose. The ego needs to be fed. It's a depletion. It's a constant depletion that needs to be filled with purpose, with meaning, with awesomeness. And when you don't have enough, what do you become? Depression, right?
yeah. I wanted to share what happened to me this weekend because I feel like what I
Okay.
was asking in my own thoughts is what created this morning's class. It's kind of a long story, but I got a call that my insurance was approved from radiology because the doctors had found something in my lungs like 8 months ago when I was getting my hernia CAT scan, and they were concerned about it. And I was like really proud that I didn't ask in class because I wasn't afraid. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to go do it. But then right when I pulled into the parking lot, I started getting afraid because I remember when they said in class that if you're not afraid, that means something, I think they use the example of breast cancer, something's going to happen to set you on a different course in life. So I literally like lost my mind. I got so scared. I started thinking like, oh my God, but I didn't want to like make it real. And for some reason, I ended
And
up.
what you stop it. Stop it. You can't make it real. Don't you see that by now? When you fear something, your fears have never come true, Brent, because fears are lack. So if you're afraid of getting cancer, you can't get cancer. No matter how afraid of it you are, you can't get it because the act of the now is the depletion to be filled with fears of the future, which can never be realized in physicality. Why? Because that means lack won't be lack. Are you following?
Yes, and I totally hear that now, but I didn't at the time. So
Sure.
I was like, oh my God, I got to do something. And I saw on my email that Abraham was coming the next day, Saturday in Stanford. So I was like, okay, fuck it. Like I want to be in what I put in time as remembering as like that feeling, like that healing energy. So I bought a ticket and I went, and I wasn't
On
sure why.
Saturday?
This past Saturday, yeah.
How was it?
It was the most interesting experience because I thought I was going there to just like, put myself in like what I had remembered being like a healing vibration. And it was such, I guess I want to say like the whole thing caused kind of like a crisis of faith within me. But being there was validation, not in the way that I thought was going to be validation, but I was there and I wasn't relating to the people that were there or the people asking questions. I was only relating to Abraham. And there was no controversy in my mind about the different truths because I think the last time Abraham came through, they said that that's like literally the past, like that world is the past. There was no controversy of the truths. I was just completely, it was just complete validation of how this this is real and this is true what we're learning in class because I was totally having no empathy or connection with the people in the chair, and I was knew what Abraham was going to say before they said it, and then I watched them address the people as from their whole self point of view, and then when they couldn't hear it, they would go back and they would use the word. They say, "Well, that's because humans," and then they would go and give them like a human answer that they could hear, and it was just very interesting to me because I thought I had come there for like some sort of healing or whatever. And then by the second hour, I was just so fucking bored. I was like, I just wanted to leave because I had like gotten the validation, but not in the way that I thought I was looking for it. But just I saw that like, even though it's not what they were talking about, I saw the validation of the truth that I know because there was no controversy. and it was just I was like, fuck. Well, you know, I
What did you rely on? In that
just
moment when you were there, you relied on your feelings, not your mind. Your mind translates everything that's going on around and equates it to time. But this time your experience was completely different because you relied on the truth of you, how you were truthful about how you were feeling with all of this, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's a completely different experience.
yeah, yeah. And what I wasn't even sure like why I was inspired to go, but it
Shh,
was
quiet. Who gives a fuck? Don't look at why you were inspired to go. That was a now of connection to attract, to experience with no purpose and no meaning. But what you are now is more of you. But
yes,
don't hold on to you, the more of you that you learn in time, because if you put it in time and imagery, it starts to deplete your nows back to the same algorithm that you've always been,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Did you try to get in the hot seat?
I knew that they weren't going to call on me because
Right.
yeah, it just no one would have heard it. I mean, it was
You just know.
yeah, it was pretty bad. The shit that they were asking was
No,
like
no, I'm not worried about their shit. But you knew you were not going to get in the hot seat, so there was no reason to.
yeah, yeah,
That's right.
yeah, and yeah,
Because Abraham wouldn't put you in the hot seat. Because Abraham's connection with you is not the hot seat. You don't need the hot seat. You didn't need that interaction. Your reality was a completely different way to view from the last 8 or 9 years you've been following Abraham, right?
yeah,
Still valid information, but the human side of it was boring.
yeah,
It was like, ah. But the vibrational side of it, the undertone, where you were more than you've ever been, was an exceptional experience, wasn't
yes, yeah,
it? Yeah. Now that's the subtleties. That's the stuff that are in that are not the tangibles. You have to feel this. You have to live this. You have to start being this core vibration of yourself and not look for all the things of time, grabbing onto these containers to give you that feeling of how it's supposed to feel in my life when it doesn't. It doesn't feel that way. That's how it feels in time. The now is completely different, and that's where you're going.
yeah, yeah. And then when I was like you said, it was just a complete individual validation of self, of feelings, which felt amazing. Well, no, it didn't feel any sort of way. It was just like an inner knowing, like a clarity,
Sure.
just a knowing. And then when because the next morning I had like a wonderful talk with Shigufta. We talked for like an hour, and then like the other night when Roxy kind of like spun out and cycled with the rage, I went back into one of those with myself with like this and the whole like appearance thing, and I was like literally like battling with myself. So I was like, you know, I can't couldn't go into the fear and this and that. But then with this morning's class, I just see that there's no solving any of that cycle. It's just the
None.
complete stepping away from it, the complete
Can't
awareness.
feed you can't fucking feed the hungry lion, or the hungry lion keeps coming to the door.
You know,
You just and when you get into those things of meaning and purpose and anger and all that, that's a cyclone. That's going to stay alive and well as long as you are energizing it with focus. When you start to be aware of it, that's depleted. Then the emotional attachment doesn't become truth to you anymore. The truth is the now of the awareness of that. That's your truth in the now. And that relationship to reality no longer becomes even valid in your memory. You will never feel that way again because it's not a vibrational match to see this portion of creation that is coming to you as the version of it was. That's why your memory is always created in the now. That's why now creates time. Now creates the memory. The vibrational attraction that you are in the now creates everything. Everyone in this class that is here has the same version of this class. We've been here. Zach is new. Shagufta's been here a while. Brent's here. Tammy's been here. Jean lives in Australia. Lorraine used to be in California. Now she lives in New Orleans. We all know. Nancy lives up north. We know each other as a memory of our experience. But the less and less we validate the memory of ourselves, which is a time-based version of each one of us, then we get a new version of all of us all the time. Okay? Again, stages. We'll bring Achilles in to master this out some more. But now that you got a real good foundation of understanding that the people that you met before are not solid, they're thoughts. They're vibrational attractions. They're matches to you. Change the version of you, change the version of creation. A lot of the versions don't like you as you change because you were, again, as a review, a dependency. They rely on you to be certain ways, to be certain algorithms. They need you to be there. You're a fucking cornerstone in the arc of you, of their reality. They need you to hold it together. But you change, it offers them to change. They fight and they scream and they holler. All of you have had interactions in the last classes that were here in the last class and seen all the versions and the stories of the parents. The parents, Roxy's parents, Jennifer's parents, Rebecca's parents, Grise's parents, huh? All these versions of other people that brought the thunder down are now kittens. They've changed because you stuck to the steadies of you, not the steady of being an image, the steady of being the authentic that is immeasurable. And you're working on that. You're changing those vibrations to get these new people in, and you are connecting with them as thought now. We just thought of Colton, right? And Tom's not in class. Now, people that know have been in class that know Tom is now in our reality. He may not be in the physical version, but Tom is in our presence. And he's not the Tom that we knew him as. He's the Tom that we know now. That's where we're going to be spending our focus so we can start to shed the disciplines of time and become the discipleship of the now. Okay?
I just wanted to ask, because I love that you said that, and I asked about this last week or something, but my mind keeps like, right, I know they said to me, don't cut people off, because if you cut people off and they disappoint you or whatever, that just validates the ego. But my mind is so aggressively just like, fuck you to these people that keep like.
Well, hang on. I didn't necessarily, the class didn't say don't cut people off necessarily. Okay? In the now, if the tolerance, remember what we talked about tolerance? I'm going back to your classes. You guys talked about tolerance. When something becomes intolerable, tell them to shut the fuck up. Are you following me? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's not like they're just being intolerable. It's just like I get just like disgusted with them. Just
But
like
then fucking cut them off. Get out of their world. Wait a minute. We never said to keep yourself in a world when someone is just not your match. We never told you to stay there and be a fucking superhero of light. If you're not comfortable with you, get the fuck out. Are you following that, Brent?
yes, yes.
So if someone is in your reality that you're not happy with, leave. Okay? If they're sitting there fucking punishing you, say, look, this is great, but gotta go. Bye-bye. Because you don't need to sit there and take their diarrhea of acceptance. You can have the indifference and allow them, but if it doesn't, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother you. But if it starts to bother you, get the fuck out. Change the algorithm of your reality, okay? But that's in a polarized fashion, and that now. It's not permanency because up here there is no of that polarized. Anyone in your reality is attraction, and you have no qualms about it. These people are attraction, but they're attraction and vibrational. But everyone up here is always what? They're here for a purpose, and purpose is time and meaning and pain and good and bad. So all of a sudden, this attraction turns into imagery. Are you following that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
While you were talking, I'm referencing why I'm mad at certain people in my mind.
Okay, why are you mad at certain people?
Well, I'm going to a wedding next weekend, and there's like a whole group of friends that never came to my birthday in February, so I haven't
Okay,
talked to any of them since.
but that's you because you're a big asshole to yourself. Because these people are obligated to make you feel better. That's a dependency. Do you see that, Brent?
Yes, yes,
These people are not your fucking slaves. They don't have consideration. They don't have compassion. Are they supposed to? Well, then that's your covet. Do they need to be obligated to show up to your fucking happy birthday party because you don't have anyone else to love? Because you don't know how to fucking love yourself? Well, that's your covet, my friend. Are you seeing that?
I am seeing that, and I want to allow the new versions in, but I can't get off
Yes,
of
you
like.
can. Because it's not happening now. You're fucking with it in time. You're screwing the pooch right now saying that's how it's going to be. It's going to be nothing like that until the now that you make it like that. By bringing, why weren't you at my birthday party, you fuckers? This is you, kid. I'm talking about you arrive at a brand new now with no predestined ideas of revenge is what you're working off. Your question is based on a time-based reality. It's not a now reality. In a now reality, if someone starts to get obtuse, you know, you say, okay, you know what, dude, I gotta go. Love what you're saying. Bye. And you cut them off, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But these people are you right now with your memory, with your ego, with your ego, with your ego, with your fucking ego, are still holding a grudge, which means all of them motherfuckers are living rent motherfucking free in your mind, and you are an algorithm of that because they didn't do what you wanted them because they're supposed to. Tell me the rule books of friendship. Tell me the expectations, and I'll show you a human, Brent.
yeah.
I'll show you a human caught in a fucking cycle that has no goddamn self-worth, that can't stand alone on his own birthday party and light his own candle and wish himself an idea birthday, sing it to himself, blow out the candle, and then enjoy his fucking cake. See, I'll show you someone who is relied upon objects, and that's you. Are you starting to see that, my friend?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
Okay, then. So, how about this? Don't go to the fucking wedding. You just don't get it. You're always thinking that you need to get it. That's why you don't get it. When you're now, and there's nothing to get. And if you find yourself at the wedding by the natural passions of now, then you're at the wedding. And the now is the wedding, not the fucking time, because the people at the wedding are these people that did that. Do you see how you always cycle your reality?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then. Now it's up to you. Now it's your
Thank you.
work, not ours.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good realization. Very good. All right, guys. Everything good? We'll see how tomorrow tracks. Tilly's is on the potential now. A couple other ideas. We'll see how it plays out. We'll keep going down this idea of understanding how the now is a creation, not time. Using time as a validation creates your now, okay, as the algorithm, the vibration. The now is new, and you add the decorations. The decoration is time, then everything that's equatable in the emotional measure will become your time-based now. Okay, so that's all we have for now. We'll get out of here and bring back Roxy. We love you guys.
Thank you. Love you.
Yes, with your father, Tom. Well, of course, in the physical sense. Do you trust that and accept it?